Coming up on Sports Extra, for the first time since 2009, Carolina is going to the Final Four. How the Heels got there and what lies ahead.
And they'll see a familiar foe in Houston. We'll break down the matchup with the Syracuse Orange.
Great weather, good baseball, and puppies. Why this Diamond Heels game was a dog lover's paradise. All that and more. Sports Extra starts
right now.
From the University of North Carolina School of Media and Journalism, covering the full range of Tar Heel athletics. This is Sports Extra.
And then there were four. Welcome to Sports Extra. I'm Jordan Black.
And I'm Rivers Upchurch. What a time to be a Tar Heel. Let's get to this amazing weekend. We'll start with Friday's game. Carolina's Sweet 16 was sweet indeed. The odd couple, Marcus Page and Bryce Johnson, stuffed the stat sheets yet again. You know, they've played together for so long. They're like brothers. Super brothers. Super Marcus must have eaten a fire flower to start things off because he was draining everything. Straight coins. There's one. And then the nice pass from Justin Jackson. That's two. Hand in his face, but it does not matter. That's three. He put the whole Mushroom Kingdom on his back. 4 threes in the first 5 minutes, 6 on the night. Give that man a mushroom.
Let's go.
Next up, Super Bryce. Get it out. Wow, he got up high on that one. That's about 11 feet, 6 inches. Not today, Yogi. And then he's going to get a power star from Theo Pinson. And you know what that means? He's invincible. Working through traffic right here. You can't handle me, Max Bielfeldt.
Bingo.
No foul. No fouls can touch him. He had 20 points and 10 rebounds on the night. Congrats, fellas. You're moving on to the next stage, the Elite Eight.
Elite ACC, more like it. The third installment of UNC and Notre Dame this season, and facing a Catholic school on Easter Sunday, well, that's enough to make you nervous. Peter Cottontail would have been proud of the Carolina Bigs. They worked hard to find all those offensive rebounds hidden in the grass. Here, Joel James misses the hook shot, but Bryce Johnson grabs it, puts it in. Right there, he had 25 points on the night. Here, Justin Jackson misses the three, but Kennedy Meeks reaches back, tips it in, 10 points for him. Then we have Pinson shooting a free throw, but wait. What? We have to go back and see that again. Pinson misses, but Isaiah Hicks grabs it. Okay, that was pretty lucky. We'll take it. Carolina finished with 13 offensive rebounds, getting 23 points off the glass. Carolina is on to the Final Four after beating Notre Dame 88-74, the fourth double-digit win in the tourney.
The Final Four, this is the big time, and for big time basketball analysis, we bring in Brett Thompson. Brett, what do you got?
Well, I'm just going to cut right to the chase and talk about what happened this weekend. So there were 3 teams that UNC fans really wanted to avoid in the Final Four: Oklahoma, Kansas, and Virginia. But only one of that trio remains. Oklahoma took down Oregon, the top seed in the West region, on Friday night. Buddy Hield was dominant, scoring 37 points, including 8 3-pointers. That's scary. Then the top overall seed, Kansas, was by Villanova in the South region, something UNC fans and probably Roy Williams are happy about. The Wildcats used a 10-0 run in the second half to stun the Jayhawks 64-59. And finally, Syracuse surprised just about everyone with a huge comeback win over Virginia in the Midwest region, trailing by 15 in the second half. The Orange used a 21-2 run to shock the Cavaliers. Syracuse becomes just the first 10th seed to make the Final Four ever. So the Heels will take on Syracuse in their third matchup with the Orange this season. The first game was at Syracuse way back in January, and Carolina broke open a tight game in the second half on the way to an 11-point win. Isaiah Hicks led the way with 21 points, and Bryce Johnson added a career-best 8 assists. The rematch came on Carolina's senior night, which UNC won by 5, and the Orange hung around tough throughout the game, but Bryce Johnson's double-double proved too much for Cuse. So after watching those 2 games in full, there are 3 things Carolina needs to do to put away the Orange and move on to the championship game.
1. Cut a hole in a zone.
Check out the spacing here. Bryce Johnson parks himself in the middle of the zone. Isaiah Hicks gets in position behind the zone, and Bryce finds Isaiah right here for as easy of a dunk as you can get. So we're going to go to step 2.
Put your ball in the zone.
The 2-3 zone entices you to shoot the 3. And let's be fair, UNC has been inconsistent from there all year long.
Free. Make her open the zone. And that's the way you do it.
Carolina should do what the Heels do best, run. Syracuse is the 34th slowest team in the nation, and if the Heels can keep the speed up and make the Orange scramble, it could lead to a load of easy points under the basket. So before I finish hijacking this show, I need to address something that will inevitably come up throughout the week, especially with UNC playing Syracuse. National outlets will bring up the academic scandal and the seemingly never-ending talk of NCAA violations. They'll question why these teams get to play and what morality exists in a world where Carolina and Cuse can be in the Final Four. It's important to remember that one, Roy Williams' name only came up once in the notice of allegations simply to say he was interviewed, and two, that these players have lived under the shadow of this for 4 years despite being in high school during the scandal. So Rivers, sorry about that. Didn't mean to kind of get intense there at the end. I know it was a little heavy, but I'll tell you what, I'm excited for this weekend.
It's all good, man. Fight hot takes with hot takes. That's basketball analyst Brett Thompson. Thanks, Brett.
After his dancing made him an overnight celebrity last week in Raleigh, our Paul Dancing Queen Beam kept a lower profile this time around in Philly. It's time for the sweet and elite edition of Heels on the Bus.
The Heels are in the city of brotherly love, and I'm the star of the new Rocky movie. Just kidding, but I did get a chance to explore the historic part of the city. The Liberty Bell, a symbol of freedom. Congress Hall, the site where the Continental Congress signed the Declaration of Independence and the U.S. Constitution. And if we take a quick trip upstairs, the site of the first U.S. Senate. Historic Philly is pretty cool, but I want to see real Philly. I didn't have to look any further than Geno's Steaks in South Philly. Yes, a real Philly cheesesteak. Did it live up to the hype? North Carolina cheesesteaks don't compare. All right, enough messing around. Time to get to the arena and take care of business. The Sweet 16 and the Elite Eight were held at the Wells Fargo Center, which is home to the Philadelphia 76ers. The Sixers have won 3 NBA championships and have retired the numbers of 9 players. Much like those players, the Tar Heels were filling up the baskets this weekend.
Up ahead, Benson up top. Oh, throw it down! Isaiah Hicks running the floor. And the Carolina Tar Heels are moving on to the Final Four in Houston.
That's right, baby. We're headed to the Final Four. See y'all in Houston. In Philadelphia, I'm Paul Beam, reporting.
So I'm a little disappointed we didn't get to see more of Paul's dance moves, but Lindsay Sparrow did get to see some excitement right here in Chapel Hill.
Not everyone can make it all the way up to Philadelphia for this Elite Eight matchup, but I decided to check out the next best place, Sub Dogs on Franklin Street.
Probably starts about 1 or 2 hours before, and then they just kind of go crazy. Everybody's screaming the whole time, every single point. Everybody's so focused and into the game, so it's really awesome.
And Ewing was not lying. The crowd was electric, decked out in Carolina blue with drinks and food in hand. I talked to several UNC students who said Sub Dogs is the perfect environment for some March Madness.
It's just so much fun to feel the energy of everybody celebrating as we score and as we go on through the tournament. I just love the vibe of being on Franklin and being surrounded by those who are also rooting on the team.
The Heels are heading to the Final Four in Houston this weekend, and though Texas might sound like a great place to cheer on Roy's boys, Franklin Street isn't too bad either. In Chapel Hill, I'm Lindsay Sparrow reporting.
And campus is already buzzing with excitement, so there could be a lot of activity on Franklin Street this Saturday night, but we won't jinx anything yet.
Wow, all this talk of the Final Four, I don't think there's anything better than March Madness.
But what about puppies and baseball, Rivers?
Well, forget about basketball. That sounds amazing. Bark at the Bosch when Sports Extra returns. The Diamond Heels were back in action this weekend, squaring off against Georgia Tech. On Thursday's Bark at the Bosch night, the Heels took an early 1-0 lead off a well-executed bunt by Adam Pate. But unfortunately, ace Zach Gallen was not at his best, suffering his first loss of the season after struggling in the 5th inning. The Yellow Jackets would take the lead, and Carolina would try to rally, but it wouldn't be enough, as Georgia Tech took the first game of the series 3-2. Friday's game was a very different story, though, with the Heels shutting out the Yellow Jackets. Pitcher J.B. Bukowskis was extremely impressive with 11 strikeouts through 8 innings of work. Tyler Ramirez was equally dominant in the game with 3 hits, including this dinger. That's his 5th home run of the year, and the Heels never let up, piling on the runs to win 8-0. Saturday was rough for the Tar Heels in Game 3. The Yellow Jackets shut out Carolina 6-0. Sophomore Jason Morgan went 5 innings, giving up 3 runs on 7 hits. Carolina dropped to 19-4 overall and 6-3 in the ACC with the loss.
Okay, so we couldn't pass up the opportunity of having a puppy on the show, so everyone meet the star of our next package. It's MJ.
MJ's fresh off an appearance at the baseball stadium with his owner, Sam Ward. Let's check out his experience.
Boschmer Stadium is often full with students, fans, families, and sometimes dogs. Yep, more than 100 dogs were in attendance for the first Bark at the Bosch. Scott Palangian, the Assistant Director of Marketing, said organizers got the idea from the Durham Bulls.
We decided to do the Bark at the Bosch for the first time ever because we saw the Durham Bulls have done it for a number of years. They're actually doing 3 this year, and we thought we might as well try it here. There are a lot of dog owners in the area.
This is one of many promotions that Boschmer Stadium puts on every season to attract more fans and students. Other successful promotions include Bacon Night, Breakfast for Dinner, and half-price drinks.
I mean, the goal is to bring extra folks to the ballpark and get them exposed to Carolina baseball, but it also enhances the experience of the people who are generally coming anyway.
I caught up with some of the dog owners to see how they were enjoying the new promotion.
I follow them on Twitter, so I saw their promotional schedule, and I was so excited to bring my puppy. He's about 1 year old, and he's never been to something like this, so it looks packed. I was surprised at how many dogs were here, but it's a really great turnout.
I know my puppy MJ loved the event and will definitely be back for Bacon Night. In Chapel Hill, I'm Samantha Ward reporting.
Guys, MJ sat during that whole story, and look, he even has a Bark at the Bosch bandana. He is such a good boy. Thanks for coming, MJ.
From one diamond to another, let's take a swing at softball. Softball analyst Caleb Waters joins us live in studio with more. Caleb?
Thanks, Rivers. You know, I was at Anderson Stadium earlier, and I think the smoke is just now starting to settle from the wreckage of the Tar Heels weekend. Friday, the Heels fell to 11th-ranked Florida State in their first game of 3 this Easter weekend. The Seminoles came out forcefully, scoring 4 in the first 2 innings and keeping the Heels scoreless until the 3rd. Carolina held out as long as they could in scoring in the 3rd and the 4th innings, but the Seminoles kept on coming. Florida State's efficiency on defense and at the plate stifled the Heels' efforts. Seminoles won the game 15-6. The doubleheader on Saturday didn't go any better for the Tar Heels. Despite a great performance from junior Kendra Lynch, the Heels lost the first game 9-6. UNC got out to an early lead in the second game, but couldn't keep up with the Seminoles. Heels lost 12-15, and the Seminoles got the sweep. So obviously the UNC offense wasn't enough to get a win this weekend, but the Tar Heels have been lighting up the scoreboard recently. I took a look at what is helping the Tar Heel bats to come alive.
UNC senior Kristen Brown acquired the nickname Downtown Kristen Brown because of her ever-increasing ability to hit home runs. Part of Brown's recent success might come from the softball team's new indoor hitting facility.
We usually hit off the cages, do some tee work, live pitching. It really helps us though because in the past we used to drive about 30 minutes away to have to use indoor cages, so with weather conditions we can stay in here and get our reps in.
If Brown can't convince you, let her numbers speak for her. In her freshman campaign, she had 11 home runs, then 12 her sophomore year. Her junior year, the first year with the facility, Brown hit 24 dingers, and this year, she has already gone yard 10 times in 30 games. Head coach Donna Papa says the facility gives the Tar Heels a better chance to compete against higher competition.
Without this facility, we would be at a severe disadvantage in the ACC nationally in recruiting. It's a big sell.
Coach Papa also says it gives her players more opportunities.
I come in early in the morning, they're in here hitting. Late at night, they're in here hitting. I mean, it's been great. It's like their second home, really.
The Rams Club funded the 5,000 square foot facility. For Brown and her teammates, it represents a sign of respect.
We're a university in North Carolina, like we have the greatest facilities, so being a softball team, you don't always get that option, and they trust us and they believe in us and they gave us this option to have it, so it's nice.
When you visit Anderson Stadium, you'll notice one thing. The facility is so close to the field. Now that's huge for the Tar Heels when it comes to inclement weather. They can practice in the rain and the snow with barely leaving their front porch. But even on a beautiful day like today where it's sunny outside, the team still uses it to maximize the players' hitting and make practices more efficient. And Rivers players and coaches alike believe that this new facility helped the team last year in its first season, is helping the team this year, and will continue to help the team going forward, both on the field and in recruiting.
Numbers never lie. Thanks, Caleb. Carolina has 2 midweek games coming up, hosting USC Upstate on Tuesday and UNCG in a makeup game on Wednesday.
The women's lacrosse team continued its dominant conference play on Saturday against Boston College. Senior midfielder Sammy Jo Tracy tied for UNC's leading scorer with 3 goals on 4 shots. She had 8 draw controls, 1 assist, and a ground ball to help lead the Heels to a 13-12 win against the Eagles. The 12th-ranked men's lacrosse team fell short Saturday in its attempt to upset number 6 Maryland on Saturday. Maryland took the lead at the end of the first quarter, and the Heels were never able to take it back. 7 different Tar Heels scored in Carolina's last non-conference game, but notably missing from the scoring this game was Luke Goldstock, whose 25-game goal scoring streak came to an end. The Heels look to bounce back in the ACC opener this weekend against number 9 Duke. Golf courses across the country are having a tough time appealing to millennials.
Well, everywhere except Chapel Hill, that is. What makes the green fairways of Finley Golf Course different? When we come back.
Basketball might have all of the attention in March, but fear not, football fans. Fall is coming soon. With more than 30 scouts in attendance, UNC held its annual Pro Day last week. Landon Turner, Carolina's top prospect, did blocking drills only, while Marquise Williams showed scouts he's more than capable of being a pro-style quarterback. Running back Romar Morris ran a 4.35 40, which was easily the fastest of the day. And after moving to linebacker this past season in Gene Chizik's new defense, Shaquille Rashad impressed in position-specific drills. Now, Coach Larry Fedora was at Navy Field to support his former players with John Bunting, who coached the Heels from 2001 to 2006. It's been a busy few months for former UNC offensive lineman Landon Turner. Since November, Turner has competed in the Russell Athletic Bowl, graduated college, and gotten engaged. But Corey Smith shows us Turner's had little time to celebrate as he's trying to become a professional football player.
Former All-American Landon Turner is headed to the NFL draft. Turner spent the last few months in California, working with elite trainers in order to impress professional scouts.
A speed coach and a strength coach, so it's just more specialized.
Turner was told he needs to intensify his agility as well as strength more than ever before in order to compete at the highest level.
My biggest thing is just constantly improving my body composition, getting lighter, getting stronger.
Turner's been training with his former roommate James Hurst, a lineman for the Baltimore Ravens. Despite all of his accomplishments, Turner still remains a humble man dedicated to his family.
It's just top down. Like, I can't take any of that credit for myself. If I did, like, for me, like, what kind of man would I be? That's how I feel because I didn't do it by myself.
Turner comes from a football family, getting inspiration to play the sport from relatives such as his uncle, Jim, his cousin, Phil, and his father, West, who all played collegiate football at West Virginia. But Turner has another source of inspiration outside of the sport.
Oh my God, it's so heavy.
Turner's fiancée, Melanie Alvis, is his biggest fan.
I'm very proud of him. I mean, I tell him I'm proud of him every day when he's having really hard times, like especially at the combine when we are apart.
Alvis gave me some insight on the man behind the face mask.
He's a huge Dragon Ball Z fan, but at the same time, we're both total nerds.
Turner gave me an inside look at his favorite games, comics, and Star Wars characters. Though Turner himself won't admit it, his teammates speak very highly of his skill and say they look forward to his career in the NFL. From Chapel Hill, I'm Corey Smith reporting.
Turner is Carolina's highest projected draft pick, estimated to go in the 3rd or 4th round.
The UNC swim and dive teams took their talents to Atlanta this weekend as they competed in the 2016 NCAA Division I Championships. It was a disappointing end for the Heels. They finished 26th in the meet, but a few athletes were able to earn All-America recognition. Junior diver Jack Nyquist placed 6th in the 3-meter dive and earned first-team All-America honors. He's the first Tar Heel to earn first-team All-America honors in diving since 1957.
Wow. If I said athletes in action, you'd probably think about Bryce Johnson dunking the ball, but our Michael Coe found an organization that defines action differently.
At UNC, athletes inspire through their incredible feats. But one group, Athletes in Action, is influencing others in a different way.
And basically the goal of Athletes in Action is to provide athletes a chance to use their platform in sport to share their faith with people throughout the world.
Tar Heels in a multitude of sports participate in Athletes in Action.
We have everyone from lacrosse to field hockey to baseball to occasionally we'll have some basketball guys, football guys. We're pretty well represented.
Athletes such as All-American wrestler Ethan Ramos give credit to AIA for helping them succeed.
Through AIA, it's helped me have a much better environment to become a lot better. I think it's definitely helped me out.
Through AIA, Ramos went on a mission trip to Mongolia, while sophomore swimmer JT Casey went to Puerto Rico. Casey says AIA isn't limited to just UNC.
Yeah, we have some friends over at State and Wake, and then we have a couple of friends in Puerto Rico that we had made last year, and I'm looking forward to seeing them again.
Martin described the global influence sports can have.
If you show up somewhere in a foreign country with a soccer ball, you can go anywhere and just play this game, and it really just is great in tearing down the walls.
So whether you're taking in football at Kenan Stadium or volleyball in Carmichael, chances are you're watching an athlete in action in more ways than one. In Chapel Hill, I'm Michael Coe reporting.
AIA believes the power of sports and faith spans international borders.
The basketball team isn't the only Carolina team that had to put a beat down on the Fighting Irish this weekend. As Little Tar Heels searched for some Easter eggs during Saturday's UNC women's tennis match, the Tar Heels look to continue their undefeated home court streak. Haley Carter and Whitney Kay quickly took care of their doubles match with a 6-1 win, with Jessie Aney and Kate Viall following suit 6-2. Moving on to singles, Kay quickly shut down her Irish opponent, who retired after losing the first set, and a few more wins by Marika Ackerman and top-ranked Carter, and the Heels secured a 5-2 win over Notre Dame.
With Tigers' decline, the Great Recession, and an aging player pool, the American golf industry is in a bunker. Jay Carroll takes a look at how one Chapel Hill golf course has defied the odds and kept business rolling smoothly through the fairway.
On a sunny afternoon at UNC Findlay Golf Course, golfers young and old are honing their skills on the driving range. It's actually quite busy with players on both sides of the practice facility. Head golf professional Mike Wilkinson says Findlay is fortunate to be thriving.
We have a sort of built-in base of golfers, which is the University of North Carolina.
According to the National Golf Foundation, in 2015, more courses closed than opened for the 10th straight year. And in that same span, the amount of millennial golfers has decreased by 35%. However, UNC Findlay is trending up. Since 2010, the total number of rounds played at the course has increased by 28%. And the combination of adult and student memberships have increased by 129%. UNC junior David Adler is one of those members.
Once I got down here with the weather, I figured you could get out a lot, and the student membership rates here are very reasonable. There are a lot of people that I know that play, so it's a great way for me to go spend 4 hours with someone I like. So they definitely do have a presence and actively look for UNC students to come out here and play.
The course's relationship with the university is obvious on its buildings and signage all over the property. Marketing to millennials is vital for the future of Findlay.
If you're not with platforms to make it easier for the millennial, you're missing a great big opportunity.
In Chapel Hill, I'm Jay Carroll reporting.
That reminds me, the Masters is next week, and I kind of have the golf bug, so maybe I'll head over to Findlay soon, but only if Rivers comes with me.
Of course I'll head to Findlay with you, Jordan. Raleigh Relays, something hard to say 3 times fast, but the UNC track team had no problem going fast this weekend. Junior C.O. Ways finished as the top collegian in the world with his time of 46.43 seconds in the 400 meter. Freshman Joey Souza captured his first collegiate victory in the long jump, jumping more than 23 feet and 8 inches. That's ridiculous. On Saturday, sophomore Kenny Selman took home a win in the 400 meter hurdles.
And he's got a need for speed, that is.
How one track athlete has a huge goal in mind when Sports Extra returns. The UNC track team had a successful weekend at the Raleigh Relays, but one track athlete has an even bigger goal on his mind.
That's right, I caught up with him, and no, we didn't race. I just wanted to find out what it takes to make this dream a reality. Every athlete carries one. You know it when you see it, the black Nike backpack. But there's something unique about Javonte Lipsy's.
My backpack's really special to me. I try to carry the things that truly represent who I am. So my Bible I carry in my right side of my bag, and then the left side of my bag is my water bottle.
Not what you'd expect from a 4-time All-America, 3-time ACC champion, and Olympic hopeful in track and field. But it's this balance that guides Lipsy.
And it really just helps me keep myself centered spiritually.
A spiritual center likely formed by his father, a pastor, as well as the 13 other members of his family. Lipsy is one of 12 kids, including a brother who also competes in the 400-meter hurdles and 4x400.
It's always out of love. Sometimes it can be, hyper competitive. He's really taught me how to compete with like a great heart.
But Lipsy has jumped over many hurdles, fighting Achilles, back, and hamstring injuries during his career.
My back had got to a point where I couldn't really run.
And now that he's healthy, he has one thing on his mind. Lipsy qualified and tried out for the 2012 Summer Olympics in London, but fell short. So now he's hoping to make a run all the way to Rio.
I'm excited to see the USA flag at the Olympic trials.
Until Rio, Lipsy has some work left to do at UNC.
I want to break the school record in the 400-meter hurdles. I've been chasing it for a while now, and I'm a lot closer. I'm almost there.
And you could say he thinks about this goal a lot.
It's actually my phone password is the number.
The outdoor track and field season is just getting underway, giving Lipsy plenty of time to get that password in the record books.
Wow, Jordan, I saw you about to take off there for a second, and I thought you really were about to race him.
About to take off, but I'm not as fast as Javonte. I think a lot of that comes 11 siblings. I mean, you have to be fast just to race to dinner,
exactly.
Right? And the bathroom. How do you get ready?
If you don't get it quick, then it's going to be gone by the time you get there.
I think that will help him train for the Olympics, if not running here, just the fact of having that many siblings running around the house, right?
Absolutely.
That does it for this edition of Sports Extra. Thanks for watching.
Good night.